Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I want to talk about a new story and a new line of amps that are kind of got me perplexed and feeling rather lukewarm about the whole situation. EVH Amps is back with a brand new line of amplifiers, and yeah, I want to talk about it. Let's get into it. Before we get into these amplifiers and we talk about these amplifiers, if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. It'd mean the world to me and it'd make my day. So with that all being said, thank you so much and enjoy the video. So what is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. My name is Ray. I'm a guitar player here on YouTube, and EVH Amps is back with a brand new line of amplifiers called the EVH 5150 Iconic series, okay? And we have kind of known about this for quite some time now. Wolfgang has kind of been teasing these amplifiers either by accident, but most likely on purpose. In one of his music videos, I'll put a screenshot up of this right here, where he's got it in the background and he's jamming through it, jamming on it, whatever you want to call it. So we kind of knew that this was going to be a thing, but my mentor, my unofficial big brother in this hobby, in this industry, the person I look up to the most, Fluff, posted a picture of this right here on his Instagram. If you guys aren't following him on Instagram and or not following him on his YouTube channel, be sure to do that. But yeah, man, giving credit where credit's due, he posted this and it made me inspired to want to create this video and talk about this new line of amplifiers and do my own research. So his Instagram picture is a listing on Reverb from Chicago Music Exchange, and this in of itself has me perplexed, and we'll get to it in a second. But if you take a look at the screenshot, I'll put it up here for you guys to see, and I'll take a look at it as well. This is basically just an EVH 5150. You know, the PV 5150 is such an iconic amplifier, and everybody loves that amplifier, myself included, right? But now EVH is, let's call it how it is obviously doing their own spin on the iconic, the classic amplifier, hence the name, the Iconic series, right? Diving into it a little bit here, several things are very interesting and kind of a, I would say a drawback, if I'm being 1000% honest with you all, and I think we would all agree with this. First thing, 80 watts. Now on paper, 80 watts is 80 watts. That's a lot, right? That's a lot of power. But what's interesting is here up on Reverb, we got a bunch of 5150s that are for sale right now. You know, all these are 120 watts. That's the OG, 120 watts, right? So the fact that this is only 80 watts is like, it's a little complicated, a little confusing. Why wouldn't it be 120, right? You know, not the end of the world, but it's certainly a talking point, and you know, just something I figured I'd bring up, right? Next thing I want to talk about is if you look here, look at all the tubes or lack thereof. This is really interesting. There's only 2 preamp tubes. 2. That's it. That's not a lot of preamp tubes, you know what I mean? That's hardly any preamp tubes at all. That's like what you see in like little tiny lunchbox amplifiers. So there's a lot going on with this amplifier in terms of things that are getting people rather rowdy about, you know? But now here, look on your screen here, I am on Chicago Music Exchange, right? And so now what I was trying to do was find the EVH listing myself, right? So, and I see no amp head in sight. Just a lot of picks. If you guys are into picks, they got you covered, but no amp head. So I don't know where that picture came from. You know, again, I'm not trying to blow up Fluff or you know, I'm giving credit where credit's due. Like I said, I'm totally not the one to break this story. But what we do have here is at least we have an EVH 5150 Iconic Series 40 watt 1x12 combo. Ivory pre-order. Estimated delivery date or shipment date, November 2nd, 2021. So at the very end of 2021, these are available to be shipped. Now, combo amps are, you know, whatever. You know, I'm not really a fan of combo amps, and I think most people like heads themselves, not necessarily a combo. But regardless, let's read up on this thing. Just got an update right now. The head listing has just been down, so I'm trying to film this as best as I can, as fast as I can. Maybe these will be taken down, and I hope they aren't, because I'm trying to make a video. You know what I mean? Breaking news here, right? So anyway, the EVH 5150 Iconic series satisfies the needs of gigging and recording guitarists craving that pure and powerful EVH tube tone, but in a more affordable price. I will give you that. The price point is insanely cheap in comparison to like the EVH normal amps, like these guys right here. You know what I mean? So that's a lot cheaper, so that's a good thing, I guess, right? Designed by the renowned amp engineer James Brown, the 5150 Iconic Series 40 watt 1x12 combo is powered by 2 JJ6L6 power tubes and 2 JJ ECC 83S preamp tubes, providing all the firepower the modern guitarist needs. Really? That's a bold statement right there. Armed with a custom-designed EVH 12-inch Celestion speaker voiced specifically for this preamp circuit, the pristine cleans and searing high gain tones are tight, clear, and articulate. All right, blah, 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 blah. Each channel houses its own gain and volume controls, allowing for level matching in volume when switching between the clean and high gain channels. The 2-channel noise gates quick attack suppress any hiss while ensuring all staccato riffing is articulate and crisp, not choked and choppy. Sounds like there's noise gates on board. Okay, that's cool. That reminds me of like the PV Invective that Misha had put out not too long ago. So, built on noise gates, that's certainly a plus for modern guitar players, right? Anyway, enough reading the blurb. Let's just get to the meat and potatoes of the specs right here. 40 watt 1x12 combo. Cabinet is constructed from blah, blah, blah. Okay, 2 channels, green and red. Green channel overdrive button, go clean to increase gain. Okay, so it's like 2.5 channels. Dual gain, noise gate, channel 2. Shared low, mid, high EQ. Dual volume, shared boost, and global reverb. Ooh, there's a boost on here. Okay, right? Let me see here. The boost controls allows you to add another 10 decibels of foot switchable volume to your tone. Okay. All right, I'm actually kind of a fan all of a sudden. Built on boost and noise gate, I literally use a noise gate and a boost every single time I have a rig of my own. So the fact that this has it built on board, I'm actually like really excited for that. Seriously, that's really, really cool. Okay, 2 power tubes, 2 preamp tubes, 1 12-inch speaker, parallel speaker jack outputs, effects loop, XLR DI out with speaker simulation. That's cool. Okay. All right, man. Okay. I'm so lukewarm with this release. I really am, man. I don't know how to feel about this. Let's go with the negatives first. No. Let's go with the positives first. The positives are all the specs that I just named, that I just read in that listing, that I didn't even know were available. The boost, the gate, and what was the other one? Oh yeah, the XLR output, the DI speaker simulation. That's killer, man. That's like what everybody who's a modern guitar player and kind of does what they do in their house, like myself, recording at home and having a studio, a mini little DIY spot. That's huge, man. I would use all 3 of those every single day if I was to ever buy one of these or use it for the channel, etc. Right? So that's a cool thing. But now, why am I so lukewarm on this, right? You would think, as somebody who's a diehard EVH fan, not only gear related, but also music related, he's my favorite guitar hero. He was my favorite guitar player growing up. But I'm so lukewarm on this because this is just seems to me like it's trying to capture and trying to, trying to piggyback off of the hype and the vibe and the reputation of the OG PV5150, right? I mean, that is such an iconic, pun intended, iconic amplifier. And EVH, the brand, now is trying to recreate what's already been done. And again, that's not a bad thing per se, but for me, it's kind of like, man, that amplifier's been played to death for close to 30 years now. And, the PV5150 sound is kind of redundant, you know what I mean? And to me, it's kind of a drawback because it's like, that amplifier, the PV5150, it's like, it's old now, you know what I mean? We're trying to recreate something that's old and trying to redo what's already been done. And to me, like, call it how it is, it kind of feels like a cash grab and kind of feels like trying to just ride the hype train of the OG PV5150. Now, I can hear it now. Several people might jump to the conclusion that, oh, this is also piggybacking off of the unfortunate passing of Eddie himself. I would like to disagree with that and not think that that's the case, in the sense that these were probably being planned maybe years in advance, and it just so happened that Eddie passed away. Regardless, I don't feel any different about it, because he's passed away. My feelings about this amplifier line is solely based on the fact that this has already been done before, and now we're trying to recreate and trying to spin off of, what's already been done. But yeah, I can certainly see people being angry about the fact that Eddie's passed and now these are getting released after, his unfortunate passing. I don't think that's the case. That's just my opinion. And then also too, the amplifier specs themselves are a little bit problemsome in the sense that, like, there's only 2 preamp tubes and 2 power tubes. Now again, Fluff, citing my sources, said that maybe this is some sort of solid state tube hybrid. I don't know. I'm not very techie and I'm not very, up to date and up to par with like amplifier specs and ins and outs. I'm very naive with that aspect of the guitar, you know, hobby, so I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about there. But I do know that only 2 preamp tubes and 2 power tubes and only 80 watts of power really for me is a drawback, because in my experience recording and my experience playing for nearly 20 years, the more tubes you have and the more power you have, the more power tubes you have, just the more just intensity the sound has. And that's just a general blanket statement from my own experience. Not to say that this amplifier or these amplifiers won't have some serious power and oomph behind them. We don't know. But it's an immediate drawback for me. Just, I gotta be honest, just, you know, telling it how it is, how I initially feel about this release. And I guess I can't even really call it release because these amplifiers aren't out yet. But all in all, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very lukewarm, I'm very timid, I'm very skeptical about this release. There's certain things that I love about these amplifiers, the boost, the gate, the XLR output, but there's certain things I don't like about it. The fact that these are called the Iconic series, and these have already been made, and they've been made for about 30 years, and on paper, the spec sheet, especially with the tubes, there was a lot more glass in the ones that came out in the early 90s than there are now. So that's just my initial thoughts, man, just calling it how it is, being straight up, being straight honest with you guys. I love EVH, I love Eddie, I love Van Halen, and I feel comfortable enough and a fan of enough of his music and the band itself to be able to speak on this and not necessarily like every single thing that comes out. And these aren't even out yet. This is just my initial thoughts, you know what I mean? So, ladies and gentlemen, that's everything I could talk to you about with this amplifier release. What are your guys' thoughts? Leave all your thoughts down below. Again, if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. I'll meet you down below in the comments. We'll mix it up, all right? I'm out of here. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay metal. See you guys next time. Later.